Shashank, a part of Blue Prism team, product team, and I look after the marketing and growing of the digital exchange. So the project is about building a cost-effective crowd management system uh, so that retail businesses can reduce operational cost during the COVID situation. It also showcases the how the different technologies that like AI and IoT can be all stitched together in a RPA solution while also keeping the cost low. So here are some of the crowd management things that the retail businesses have to deal with. Uh, so it can be also they it get the cost get increased because of these different scenarios that they have to deal with, and the manpower required for all that also gets increased. So putting up directional signs for shoppers coming in the train stations, from bus stations, and floor markings for queues. Businesses deploy more employees at entrance to ensure that those in line to enter the mall stay at least 1 meter apart. Reducing the number of entrances because there might not be enough employees available for monitoring um, is also a challenge. So regular public announcements are made, reminding shoppers to maintain a safe distance. Many countries have created mobile apps for tracking. There are also handheld temperature screening systems or mass screening systems. There are also legal aspects to it when government imposes certain rules or restrictions to limit the maximum number of people per square feet. So malls have to abide by those rules or can also face fines. So the project focuses on the last point where the enclosed spaces or the retail businesses have to focus on uh, limiting the number of people in the enclosed space. So this is the architecture diagram of the project. So what we do is to first install a camera at the gate of the enclosed space, which can be a mall, and we uh, uh, place it in such a way that we are able to see a top view of the people coming in. So we will not be doing face detection. We will be doing rather a people detection. The humans moving in the video will be able to detect it. So here for simulation purpose, so I will not be using any hardware as such for the demonstration purpose. So to keep the cost low, I have used simulated using a Wyze IB camera, which is low in cost. So once you install the camera at the gate um, with the top view visible, it will be able to capture the videos. And within the camera comes with software in which you can configure the IP address to which you want to stream the video. So the Blue Prism worker, digital worker uh, configuration in the PC that the Blue Prism worker is installed, you need to connect that PC to this Wi-Fi hotspot which the camera creates. Once the connection is made, the Blue Prism digital worker will be running, and it will fetch each and every frame from the video stream and do two things. One is detect the people that are there, and second is detect the movement. It will also create a virtual door on the frame that is captured. So people passing across that line will be considered as entering the mall, and people crossing the other side will be counted as people leaving the mall. So the data collected in terms of number of people entering, exiting is uploaded to a IoT system. The system uses ThingSpeak. So ThingSpeak, in ThingSpeak system, we can create different channels. We can upload entering number of people entering, number of people exiting, total number of people, and many other stuffs, which is a very common IoT service used in many different IoT projects. And this ThingSpeak will additionally do two things. One is to trigger a tweet when the maximum number of people is reached inside the mall, so that the staff can take appropriate action if required. So that is all taken care by the server side, the ThingSpeak itself. There is no configuration required from the digital worker point of view. Additionally, there is a LCD system that can be created. So just to minimize the cost, uh, I have used the Arduino board. Again, it's a simulated environment. I have not really used the hardware as such. So Arduino board is a microcontroller which is not capable of Wi-Fi connection. But additionally, if you see the diagram carefully, there is a ESP8266 chip there. So that chip provides a Wi-Fi capability to the Arduino board. So once those two are connected together, uh, we will be able to retrieve the data from the ThingSpeak. That is the number of people entered from the cloud, and we can pass that data onto the LCD display board, which will display the number of people. So one of the things about this architecture is that the Blue Prism digital worker is actually working in the local area network of where the video streaming is happening, just to keep the latency low. Because otherwise, if we try to stream the video to the cloud, that creates a little bit of lag. So I have avoided that. So there are, before showing you the demo, there are some things which can be improved, which can be considered as future work. Uh, Connecting multiple cameras for malls that have multiple entrances, and all that data can be uploaded to the ThingSpeak server. And we can also perform footfall analysis. You can actually analyze the number of people coming in and going out at particular times. You can analyze which period of your day is the most busy. So all that can be done using MATLAB, which runs on the IoT ThingSpeak service on the server. So there is no like infrastructure provisioning that you have to do for that. Integration with thermal screening and tracing systems, because we know that there are some thermal screenings available. People in Singapore, they know that thermal screening is very commonly done. So you don't have to stand in front of a thermal, screening device. You can just walk past by it. So integration with those systems can be done. Additionally, we can also detect mask, if person is wearing mask or not. And also, we can control if there is a door there at the entrance. We can control the opening and the closing of the door again through the microcontroller that is connected over there. Yeah, so that's about the presentation. Let me show the demo. So three things. So I will not be using a live camera feed because I don't have it here. So I'll be using a pre-recorded video. So the solution works both ways. You can feed a live video or a pre-recorded MP4 file. And then the second part is the circuit. This is the circuit that can be used for the LCD display. So for this is quite a small display over here, but you can fix a larger display. All the wiring and all, like, it comes pre-configured as well, and some PCB boards which we can take up. So just to show you a simulation over here. So you can display anything over here. And this is the Wi-Fi chip that is connected. So the limitation with this simulation is that the Wi-Fi cannot be actually simulated. So I cannot actually connect to the internet using this simulator. So for that purpose, I have used a different simulator, which is LCD simulator over here, which is not about circuit, but just the LCD simulator. So here, what I will be doing is when the Blue Prism process is running, I will be fetching in data from the ThingSpeak so as to display the required text on the screen. So let me run the Blue Prism process. So once I run the process, it will start doing the detection, and it will like count the number of people entering and exiting. I forgot to run. Yeah. So here it will be like counting the number of people entering and exiting, and in the background you will be like able to see the number of people that have entered in the LCD display. So right now for demo purpose, the LCD display is not really real time because there is a limit to the free version of the ThingSpeak server ThingSpeak account that I'm using. I can only update the data every 15 seconds. But you can see how it works. You can see the data that will be displayed over here. So I had set the limit to 3. So once the limit is reached, it will like say, please wait, or you can customize the message over here. I know it was a very quick demo, but hopefully you were able to see that processing. And additionally, there will be a tweet.
How much code did you write?
So for the Python, there is like around 200 lines of code for the Python part. And for the circuit simulation, there is around like 50 lines of code for the circuit simulation.
And Blue Prism?
Blue Prism, like there is one process only. The Python code, I am calling it from Blue Prism.
Okay.
And this is the alert that is generated. I think that's this one is the alert from yesterday. Yeah, this is the alert from right now.
Thank you, Shashank. Jay, Priyanka, and Joe and Benny, any questions from your side?
So how much work did actual Blue Prism do?
How much?
How much work did Blue Prism actually do?
So Blue Prism actually gets the video and passes it to Python program for processing. And there is some latency. If there are two designs that I initially thought about. One was passing the frame using Blue Prism to Azure and then doing the processing over there, but that causes a great deal of latency over there. So I changed the design to into a Python based solution that is on-prem. So Blue Prism gets the video and it passes the frames to Python, and Python does the processing to identify the people in there.
Shashank, just a quick question. Right? The IoT hub that you're using, is it just because you can't hook the simulator into the display, or is there any other reason?
IoT hub I am using because for the future work, if I have to connect multiple different entrances and multiple different cameras, it will be easier for me to aggregate the data because it will be already aggregated in the IoT hub. But
Okay.
the solution can be run without the IoT hub as well. You can run it on-prem as well completely.
Okay, understand.
So, Shashank, Joe here. Quick question, curious, is we monitor the capacity and you reach the max. Is there a proactive roadmap you think you can improve in this? What I say is that let's say there's a certain capacity in that mall. So before it reach, or probably, what are the action where, in the process that we can help to say that the cloud control and things like that? Is there some thought to this more operational?
You
where
want
the
to
process, yeah. Yes, go ahead.
you want to like notify the people before the maximum capacity is reached.
Maybe, yeah.
That can be done. You can actually configure that setting inside the IoT hub. So
okay.
here you just have to configure the maximum people that you want in the IoT hub. Then so that it will be triggering the tweet accordingly. And it's not about only the Twitter. You can connect it to any other system that you want to trigger.
Okay, if you do analytics of the cloud in and out and things like that at certain timing, would this be part of the IoT tool or in Blue Prism analytics where you can do?
Actually, you can do both ways. One, if you want to use Blue Prism, you can retrieve the data from IoT. There are REST APIs available, which you can use to retrieve. So I have already used a REST API over here that retrieves the data from IoT and displays on the LCD. Same way, you can retrieve the data from Blue Prism and then perform your analytics on the Blue Prism side. But otherwise, if you want it quicker, you can actually directly do the analytics over here somewhere. I think over here somewhere. Here, what you can do is you can write a MATLAB program somewhere over here in the interface. I have not tried that out. So you can do the analytics on the server side. So the advantage is you don't have to provision any infrastructure for analytics, and it happens in real time. There will be one disadvantage or additional cost, you can say. The cost will be associated with your IoT service.
Okay, thanks, Shashank.
So Shashank, you mentioned Azure, right, at some point. So I'm just wondering why not use Azure? Is there more support for channels on ThingSpeak, or is there any specific reason to use ThingSpeak?
ThingSpeak I used for the IoT for sending the data feeds, the number of people. So ThingSpeak is not ideally it is not used for the frame processing. For frame processing, we can use Azure. But the thing is, we can do a breakdown using Blue Prism. We can break down the video into frames and then pass it to Azure. So additionally, there will be a queuing mechanism that will have to be built into Blue Prism, which can pass the frames one by one to Azure, and then we will have to like analyze that. So one additional thing that is not already a part of Azure is that it cannot actually track the objects. It will be, once you give it a frame, it will be able to identify the people in it. It will be able to give you the coordinates, but you will not be able to actually track the objects from one frame to other, because you need to be able to track people moving across a line. So for that, you will have to build some additional logic to that. And to do all that, if you manage to do all that, that will increase the latency. There will be a lag between the frame, the actual live feed and the frame processing.
Shashank, there's one scenario question I want to check with you. So what you demonstrated and also what very little sneak peek that we saw in the code is a very happy path code. So where do you think there could be an exception situation here that, you could design like in future iterations? When I could see maybe the frames, breaking into number of frames, there maybe there could be a chance that an exception can occur. So did you think of possible exception handling scenarios here?
Yeah, so there can be different scenarios. One is when your camera is not set up properly, right? Even though it is, first scenario can be your camera is not showing top view. It is actually showing a view that is in a certain angle, or it is showing the front view. So people can be standing on behind of each other. So that can cause some errors. So your camera should be in a certain top view position. And then if there are some people just circling around, or people come to the view and then they don't exactly cross the line, or they cross the line twice. So the algorithm can be modified for that. Although that would require additional piece of work, so it was not possible to accommodate all those exceptions with the given time frame. But yeah, those are some of the exceptions.
And just a follow-up question on that, and of these exceptions that you thought, how much can we address through Blue Prism when the code comes into Blue Prism?
We can address both of them.
Okay.
The first one, the angle of the camera should not be addressed in Blue Prism. It is rather your hardware setup. Your camera should be set up properly. The second,
Right.
wherein people are circling around, can be addressed from Blue Prism.
Sure. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Shashank. It was a wonderful use case. We have our questions, we have our answers. We will definitely get back with our feedback. We will collate ourselves and then we will announce the results soon. Thank you so much,
Sure,
Shashank, for the
sure.
wonderful use case. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.